Hello. So to create a curtain, what you need to have first, you need to have a plane for the curtain itself. You need to have some collision objects for the curtain to fall off on, or and you need to have a rod that is moving to create the movement for the building. So basically, first of all, I'm going to select my flooring. But since this is an empty file, I'm just going to create this flooring, and let's say the room is 4 meters by 4 meters and minus 200 for the thickness. So again, this is your flooring. So if you already have a flooring, you don't need to create this box. Next, I'm going to create a box for the wall. So I'm going to start in here and create this wall. If you already have a wall, you can select that, but in your project, your wall is pieces. So you have some piece here, some piece here, you have the window, which is open and so on. Now, why I'm creating this wall box, this is to prevent the curtain from going inside the wall or going outside the building itself. So if you don't have this, the cloth when it's creating the curtain, it might move outside this area because you don't have anything blocking this area in the cloth modifier. That's why I'm creating this wall box. So let's say now that the height is 3 meters. Next, I'm going to create my curtain using a plane. So I'll select plane, auto grid, and I will draw it according to the size that I have. Make sure it's not going inside your flooring. It's supposed to be a little bit up, and make sure that it's covering the whole area to the ceiling. And then I'm just going to move it a little bit to the front as it's not supposed to be inside the wall or touching the wall or touching the flooring. Otherwise, you will have some issues later on. So this is my plane, and don't forget to increase the number of segments. If you don't have enough segments, it will not work and you will face some issues. Then I'm going to go to the left view by clicking L on your keyboard, and then I will go to create cylinder or box or whatever shape you want. Close auto grid and start drawing your cylinder. So click anywhere for the height, go to the top view, Z to zoom out, and then make sure that this point, the X and Y or the pivot point is on your left side, and then increase or decrease the height to cover the whole curtain. If it's the opposite way, the curtain will open to this side. If you want it to open to the left side, you need the pivot point to be on the left side. And again, make sure to increase the segments for the cylinder. Otherwise, you might face some issues. Okay, so next step is to animate this curtain rod. So as you can see here, now I don't have any movement. How to create movement? I will open auto key, start, I wanted to start from 0, so no need to set any keys here. I will go to any key that I want. So for example, I will go to 300 and then I'm going to scale it to the side. So when the curtain is open, this is the size that it will be. And then I'm going to close auto key. As you can see now, I have this key for scaling. Next, I'm going to go back to frame 1 to see everything. Select the uh, plane, and then I'm going to add a cloth modifier. See, cloth modifier. Object properties, add objects, and add all the objects that you've created or you've selected from your scene. So the wall, flooring, and cylinder for the rod. These three objects are going to be collision objects. The plane itself is going to be a cloth object. And then you're going to change the properties depending on any preset you want. Click on OK. Now all the properties are correct. Next, you need to create a group for the vertices. So I will select group from here, F for the front view, Z to zoom out, and then you can select which points you want to move with the cylinder. Now this is up to you. Maybe I will select 2 lines, skip 2, or maybe you can select 2, skip 1, or select 1, skip 1. Now this is all up to you. So I'm going to skip 2 and so on. How many points do you select? How many vertices you select? How do you select them? This is what's going to create the shape of your curtain. It does not matter as long as you do the steps correctly, but if you change your selection method, you will get a different result every time. So I've selected all my points. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a group. This group, I'm going to assign it to the cylinder. Now it's unassigned. Go to surface, select your cylinder. When you're done, خلاص, you can close the close modifier. Now all you have to do is click on simulate and it will start moving the curtain or the points that you've selected in the curtain until the simulation is done. So this will take time depending on how many frames, how many vertices. All of this will control the shape of the curtain and the time that it will take. Whenever you feel that's fine, you can cancel. In the project, we already specified the number of frames that you have to select, so make sure that you reach the amount that we've asked you for. Okay, so now it's done. If you have any points that needs fixing, you can do that. So maybe I wanted to go a little bit straighter. I can click on Simulate Local. When you click on Simulate Local, it will start moving and settling down until it reaches the stage that you want. Then you can click on Escape to close Simulate Local. Now this is your curtain and this is how it looks. Next, you can delete this rod if you don't need it. You can just delete it. And then you can select your curtain and add a turbo smooth modifier to make everything smooth. And before you add the turbo smooth, you need to add shell modifier to add thickness. So from here, I'm going to add, for example, a 10 millimeter thickness. And then when you add shell, it will look something like this. If there is any parts that you don't like, you want to cut, you can always add a slice modifier and make sure that this slice modifier is under these two. Select which side you want to cut. So I will cut on x-axis, click on it and keep it wherever you want to cut the object. So maybe I will cut it here and then remove positive or remove negative depending on the direction that you have. And that's it. This is how you can create a curtain.